Fascinating. Hello there, I didn't see you. Welcome to my exploratory essay, The Evolution of Queer Slang. My name is Freya Ananda, and this is for Comp 1, Dr. Megan's class. Growing up as a gay child outside of queer culture, finding identity was difficult, telling in my personal narrative. Finding definition was scarce. I now, with years of finding new definitions, I find myself relating to the word queer the most. But where did the word queer originate from? How did it end up being a marker for homosexuality? Throughout this essay, I will look into the definitional arc of the word queer, leading me to the language responsible for a lot of modern queer slang, Polari, and then some modern slang born and developed from Polari. I found some amazing sources, which was pretty hard for slang, especially for a minority group. Luckily for me, in the Columbia Journalism Review, Merle Perlman writes the article, How the Word Queer Was Adopted by the LGBTQ Community. Perlman is a credited queer journalist for over 40 years, so finding her research on the evolution of the word felt right. The word queer has had a diverse history. The word queer surfaced in common lexicon in England of 1513, with the definition, something out of the norm. Oxford Dictionary says the noun queer was first used to mean homosexuality by the Marquis of Queensberry in 1894, though it wasn't used in America as a definition for homosexuality till about 1914. In the heterosexual community, the word was used in disdain. In the homosexual community, it was embraced and used in casual conversations within the community. Perlman writes, as a quote, self-deprecation. It wasn't until the early 1980s where the PR for AIDS recognition and research used the word heavily. It then developed into a term of endearment and mostly used with gender-bending, transitioning, and non-conforming people, elevating and taking pride with the term queer. Now, through my research into queer slang, which gets categorized as hanky code, I found something interesting. When speaking about homosexuality and trying to find community in a world where queerness is seen as a threat, what do? Well, you create a language. In specifics, the language coined Polari. Written by Paul Baker, a professor in linguistics and the author of The Secret Language of Gay Men, thankfully simplified his research from the book into an article in the National Museum of Liverpool, Polari and the Hidden History of Gay Seafarers. National Museum Liverpool is known for its art gallery and long-standing history in Liverpool. The timeline of the origin of a language is still widely debated, going as early as the 16th century, but was most popular in the 1920s. This language has aspects of Yiddish, Italian, Cockney slang, and of course, the queer slang of the time of 1920s. Polari was a present language for the theater scene and mainly in merchant navy, as many queer men joined to build a community out on the sea. I wish I had time to discuss the queer community within piracy. I just don't have the time. Paul Baker attributes Polari's extinction for the 1970s focus on coming out, a term used for being publicly homosexual, the fight for equal rights. No need for hidden language when it's time to be seen. Polari had a resurgence in the 1990s, for communities found it important to have this aspect of queer history not forgotten. May Rood in Out Magazine writes, Polari expanded, words we still use and other words to bring back, gives us some definition of Polari that are modern and not so modern, with the source of definitions being from the book Paul Baker wrote, The Secret Language of Gay Men. A definition from the list that really stood out to me was drag. Drag, modernly known as an art form expressing dramatic femininity in costumes, performances, and singing, while in Polari, drag means clothing, theorized to be related to the theater slang of having a skirt drag on the ground. Butch is another word in modern daily lexicon. meaning masculine lesbian, and fruit meaning flamboyant homosexual man. Both of these definitions are found in Polari and modern-day lexicon, though the origins are unknown. Community often builds isms, so focusing on this topic really filled me with pride, though this only built my curiosity, like homosexual persecution, and what evidence does somebody need to persecute homosexuality, modern and throughout history? What defines a language? How does the extinction of expression and language lose culture? With only so much time, my curiosity needed to stay on track. I couldn't go down those rabbit holes, so I can't wait to explore those in the next unit. With that concludes my exploratory essay. I really hope you liked it, Megan. I'll see you in class soon. Bye!